All right, so welcome back, everyone. We'll begin this evening. I'm going to call the meeting to order, and we'll begin. Well, maybe I should just give folks a minute to get connected in here. All right, so we'll begin with the singing of O Canada. So everyone please stand. I'm not hearing anything come through. Yvonne, are we having technical difficulties?
Hang on 1 second, we're good.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, so we'll begin with a roll call of councillors. What are you doing?
John Sampson.
Present.
Councillor Michael Digdon.
Present.
Deputy Warden Melanie Sampson.
Present.
Warden Amanda Mumbercat.
Present.
Councillor Brent Sampson.
Present.
Okay, so the next item is any items added to the agenda. I do have one piece. It's just more of a public service announcement around public health information. Could I get consent from councillors to add that to the agenda? Thank you. Councillor Digdon, are you okay with that, adding that item?
I am, yep.
Thank you. And are there any other items to add to the agenda? Okay, so hearing none, could I have a motion to approve then, please?
Move the acceptance of the agenda.
Okay, thank you. I think that was Deputy Warden might have won the race on that one, but Councillor Brent Sampson, would you like to second that motion?
Sure, I'll second that motion.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, the motion is carried. So we have several sets of minutes to review, all of which were circulated in advance. The January 17th, 2022 special council meeting are first on our list. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes, please?
Make that motion.
Thank you,
I'll make that motion.
Okay, so Councillor Digdon,
I'll
Councillor
second
Sean, thank you. Okay, so that was moved by Councillor Sean Sampson and seconded by Councillor Digdon to approve the minutes from January 17th. Any further discussion? Okay, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Okay, that motion is, those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Thank you. December 20th, 2021, regular council meeting minutes. Could I have a motion to approve those minutes as well, please?
Yeah.
I'll make that
there
motion.
was there was a couple of adjustments or amendments or whatever.
Okay,
There was, I think, a couple of nays I had recorded that I didn't see recorded in the minutes. It was regarding
right,
referring the West Richmond Education Center property thing back to PAC, I believe. And the other one was I can find them right quick here, was about retaining the legal counsel for the performance management review.
okay.
Yeah.
So, so those two amendments, Councillor Sampson would like to see the nay vote reflected there as it should be. Are there any other amendments? Okay. So with those amendments, could I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Brent Sampson beat you to that one again. Councillor Digdon, it must be the delay, but could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councillor Digdon. So any further discussion?
Question?
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay, that motion is carried. Next is the December 16th, 2021 minutes from special council meeting. Those minutes were also circulated. Were there any errors or omissions to be reported? Okay, could I have a motion to approve the minutes from December 16th, please?
Make that motion.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Sean Sampson. Could I have a seconder?
I'll second it.
Thanks, Councillor Brent Sampson. Any further discussion? Okay,
Questions?
all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. All right, so prior to our committee of the whole report, I am going to just open it for a question period. We have a few folks on the call this evening. Also, the phone-in number is 1-204-272-7920. So we'll just give it a minute for folks to have the opportunity to call in or use the chat or unmute if they have a question regarding the items on the committee of the whole report. Okay, so I'm not hearing anything, and I'll just maybe check in with you, Yvonne. There's nothing in the chat or any.
Nope, there's nothing in the chat.
One waiting to get in. Okay, great. Thank you. So we'll close off question period then, and we'll proceed to committee reports. The committee of the whole report will be read by Deputy Warden Melanie Sampson. Over to you.
Thank you, Warden. This is the committee of the whole report for the month of January 2022. The committee met on January 10th, 2022. The committee discussed electric vehicle charging stations. I move that council accept the recommendation of the committee of the whole and that staff investigate funding opportunities available for multiple types of electric vehicle charging stations.
We have a motion on the table. Could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that motion.
Warden, you're muted.
Again, Morgan.
Sorry, my keyboard keeps going to mute here on me. I must be hitting my space bar. Sorry about that. So I think we had Councillor Brent Sampson seconding that motion. Any further discussion?
Question?
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried.
The committee discussed the dog bylaw. I move that council accept the recommendation of the committee of the whole and that the CAO inquire with the municipal solicitor regarding the requirement to provide the complainant's name when reporting a dog issue to the dog catcher.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table from committee of the whole. Could I have a second on that motion, please?
I'll second that motion.
Councillor Sean Sampson, was that you I heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So any further discussion? Yeah, so all those in favor?
I have a little
please
bit of discussion on it, but at this time sorry, just with the delay, I have just discussion on it, but I think we can visit it at the next meeting, so I'm okay to move forward with it.
Okay. All right. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried.
The committee discussed dangerous and unsightly complaints. I move that council accept the recommendation of the committee of the whole and that the CAO inquire with the EDPC and the municipal solicitor as to whether residents are required to provide their name when filling out a dangerous and unsightly premises form.
Okay, so the motion on the table, could I have a seconder on that, please?
I'll second that.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, so Councillor Sean Sampson, I heard the second coming from him first. So any further discussion?
Question?
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those
Aye.
opposed? Okay, that motion is carried.
This concludes the committee of the whole for the month of January 2022, and I move its adoption.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. Could I have a seconder on that motion?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Brent Sampson. Any further discussion?
Question?
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. All right. So that brings us to the next item on the agenda. Thank you, Deputy Warden, for that. It's the second reading regarding the St. Peter's Land Use Bylaw map amendment rezoning for the rear portion of the lot at 9959 Grenville Street, St. Peter's, PID 750-53397, from residential village R1 to downtown commercial C1. So could I have a motion to accept the second reading, please?
I'd just like to declare a conflict before we move any further on this specific
Okay.
item.
Thank you, Councillor Brent Sampson. Could I have a motion to accept the second reading?
I so move.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Warden. Could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that motion.
I'll second that.
Thank you very much. Councillor Sean Sampson, I believe, had his hand up first. So any further discussion? Okay, so all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
So that
I had my hand up, you didn't see it.
I can hear you though, so it's great. So that motion is carried. Thank you so much, everyone. And the next item on the agenda, and Councillor Brent Sampson, okay, I was just going to say you can return to the table. This next is the second reading regarding the Almadam Municipal Planning Strategy and Land Use Bylaw amendments to add policy to allow for the consideration of multiple unit dwellings and or grouped dwellings if the properties are able to get access to municipal water and sewer services and according to the development agreement provisions of the Municipal Government Act. So could I have a motion to approve that second reading, please?
Make that motion.
Councillor Sean Sampson, could I have a seconder, please?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Brent Sampson. Any further discussion?
Question?
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. All right, moving right along. The next item on the agenda is a motion to adopt the vaccination policy as a policy of the municipality of the County of Richmond. So could I have a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
So Brent Sampson, thank you. Could I have a seconder, please? Okay. So no seconder for that motion would mean the motion cannot move forward. All right. So that motion is, I won't say defeated, but it will not be moving forward. And I'm not sure if councillors are interested in bringing this back to Bylaw and Policy Committee, but I think probably for a debrief, that's in our best interest. Okay. So if we could,
I would like to bring it back to bylaw and policy.
okay,
Yeah, Madam Moore, I would like to see it go back to the bylaw and policy committee meetings. And also, can we request to have our solicitor in that meeting as well, please?
to get a legal opinion on the policy?
Yeah, yes, please. Yeah, I have some concerns and questions surrounding the whole wording of it, and I just want to make sure we dot our Ts and, dot our Is and cross our Ts and make sure that we ask the questions we're supposed to be asking. So I'd love to see our solicitor in that bylaw policy meeting, if that's at all possible. CEO Marshall.
Doesn't normally come to bylaw meetings. I think what we would normally do is provide him with a copy of the policy and then him take a look at it and review it to provide his comments on it. I think that probably might be our next step.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, either way, if he could shed some light on some of our questions, yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll bring it back to bylaw and policy for discussion then, councillors, and that way if there are questions that we have, we can pose them and then get them off to the solicitor.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds good. All right, next on the agenda is the motion to adopt the dry hydrant policy as a policy of the municipality of County of Richmond. Should I have a mover on that one?
I'll make that motion.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
Okay, so I did hear Councillor Digdon chime in on that one first. So that motion will be made by him, and Councillor Brent Sampson, would you like to second it in that case?
Yeah, I'd be happy to second that motion.
Okay, thank you. All right, so any further discussion on the dry hydrant policy on the motion to adopt?
Question?
All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. All right, thank you. So next item on our agenda is over to Dawn for an update on the strategic plan refresh. So Dawn?
So, of course, we had that meeting on the 6th, I think it was the 17th of January. And we had a great discussion on it. Coincidentally, my choices, I provided you with my choices, and my first choice was FBM as well. So that's why the recommendation came in that way. It was great to hear that mostly everyone agreed. So what I'll be looking for is a motion to proceed with that awarding that tender to that consultant and contacting them to get the process underway as soon as possible.
Okay. So we have a recommendation from staff to proceed with awarding the contract to FBM Architecture Interior Design Planning. Could I have a motion to that effect from councillors, please?
I would make that motion.
Okay, thanks, Deputy Warden. Can I have a seconder?
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
Thank you, Councillor Sampson. Any further discussion on that item? Okay, I just want to say thank you for the work that staff and councillors put into reviewing those materials. I know it was an eye-burning kind of process, and I'm very thankful that everybody was able to do their best to review those proposals, and I'm excited to go forward with it. So that's all the discussion I had. So if there's no further discussion, we can call for the vote, please. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Awesome. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is correspondence. And it is noted that action is required. So this initial piece of correspondence is from Blair Sampson. Sampson was a beekeeper in actually a couple of doors down from me, and it's regarding No Mow May. So I'll just kind of summarize the letter that we've received from Blair, and then open it for discussion from councillors. So he's just noted that as a local beekeeper, an environmentally conscious Richmond County resident, he wants to make us aware of a great international campaign that we could consider promoting and becoming an active participant in. It's called, it's a campaign launched by Plant Life called No Mow May. Plant Life's No Mow May campaign doesn't ask you to do much. In fact, it asks you not to do anything at all. Just lock up your lawnmower on May 1st and let the wildflowers in your lawn bloom, providing a feast of nectar for our hungry pollinators. Let it grow. So now entering its third season, the campaign has kind of taken on a life of its own. The letter speaks about, it's present in the US, UK, Canada. The Nature Conservancy of Canada has taken up the cause as well and become a big proponent. And he is suggesting that we could be, as a county, leading by example by not cutting grass on county-owned properties during the month of May to raise awareness and to encourage other Richmond County residents to also participate in the campaign. So he describes it as a win-win, helps the environment, helps the bees and the butterflies and many other struggling pollinators and foragers. And it's actually no cost and cost saving. So he's invited us to check out the website for it, which has more detailed information on how councils can participate. It includes posters that we can download for use on our social media and in locations. So I'd like to just open this for discussion by councillors. Any thoughts on participating in this campaign? Councillor Brent Sanderson?
Yeah, so Mr. Sampson contacted me about a week and a half ago with this, and in the meantime, before bringing it to this meeting tonight, I thought it would be probably in council's best interest. I checked in with the Director of Public Works, Chris Woodrow, prior to this, because my only concern was bringing this forward. If we were to make a decision and then for some reason there might be something we're not thinking of or some kind of impact it may have that we're not aware of, I thought it made sense to speak to him first. He didn't think there was anything I was missing on that, except he said it would probably be in everyone's best interest to try and make sure, if we're going ahead with this, that we advertise it as much as possible so that people within the county understand that this is going on and that the county's not receiving complaints that the mowing's not getting done, kind of thing. So that just to try and make people as aware as possible that it is intentionally being done for a specific reason,
Yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah, I'm feeling like a few little well-placed signs on county properties that say we participate in No Mow May, help the bees, or, like using some of those, that sign that's on the website or something could do the trick for that. But I do support it. It's something that we actually started doing ourselves last year. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Councillor Sean Sampson?
Yeah, no, I agree and I support that as well. And that's a great idea on Councillor Brent's behalf to make sure that we bring awareness to it, to make the public aware that we are taking part in this.
Okay. So Councillor Digdon, I don't know if would you have any thoughts you wanted to share on this?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Okay, so if that's the case, then maybe yeah, go ahead, Councillor Brent.
I was just going to say I'd be willing to make a motion to ask staff to put this into place to participate in it, and hopefully we can get enough signage and advertising out there to make sure that people in the county are well aware of it.
Okay, so did you want to include that communications piece in your motion, Councillor, or?
Yeah, I don't want to get too specific with it just because I'm not, that's not my area of expertise, but that we ask staff to communicate that as much as possible, I guess, to make the residents aware.
Okay, so the motion then would essentially be for us to participate as a county in No Mow May and to communicate that to community. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so could I have a seconder on that motion, please? Thank you. I think I saw Deputy Warden.
Yes, as I said it, I was like, all right.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Deputy Warden Sampson. Any further discussion?
Question?
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. All right, so the next piece of correspondence is from the Eastern District Planning Commission regarding operating expenses, and this is more for information only. Sorry, my computer just lost stuff. Okay, so essentially, John Bain has provided the operating estimates for the next fiscal year in accordance with the requirements of the Municipal Government Act, which requires that we provide the estimates no later than January 15th. So essentially, at this point in the game, we're not looking for any approvals. Or we can have some initial discussion if councilors so choose at this time as well. If you have questions about it, which we could forward off to John Bain at Planning Commission. So, are there any questions on this item? Okay, so hearing none, we'll move on to the next item on the agenda. Okay, so several items. I'll begin with discussing Volunteer of the Month for December 2021. We actually didn't have any nominations in December for Volunteer of the Month, so I think the timing was really good for us to bring this to the agenda this year. I know people get really busy with Christmas and all that stuff, but just wanted to kind of relight the fire for our Volunteer of the Month recognition. It's something that, that we've been doing for a number of years now to kind of recognize the people who volunteer to make our communities better places. We have a nomination process that's open all year long, and any nomination that's not selected in 1 month automatically gets rolled forward to the next month. And the nominees also, they must be a Richmond County resident. And they must not have been previously chosen as Volunteer of the Month. So that leaves lots and lots of people eligible to be nominated. And it's a really lovely gesture to make, but also the volunteer receives a plaque as well as $150 worth of local gift cards of their choosing for local businesses. And we also recognize them through our various media. You will have seen in Richmond Reflections a list of some of the most recent volunteers, as well as the website and Facebook. And now, after discussing with staff, we thought it would be nice to do this also at the council table formally. So each committee of the whole, if the Volunteer of the Month has been chosen for the previous month, we'll announce who that volunteer is, just to say a little extra thank you, because we know that it's important to recognize that contribution. And also, we also know that this gets aired on Tele as well, so it reaches into the homes of many people in the county. So just to give you a rundown, since March, we've had a series of volunteers nominated, and those include Aura Aronson, Margaret Herdman, Susan Marsh-Ontario, Marcia McEwen, Daniel LeBlanc, Grace DeWolf, Jack Willette, Michelle Hearn, and Carol Hain. So I'm looking forward to continuing to recognize the awesome work that they do, and just a reminder for everybody to please nominate someone worthy in your community by using I think you can access that form on our website or just message our staff. Any questions on that?
No questions, Madam Warden, but again, I just want to recognize and congratulate all these volunteers for all the hard work they do to build our community and work hard for different groups and organizations in our community. So just want to thank them all and congratulate them and wish them all well.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so if there's no further discussion, I'll move us on to the next item on the agenda, which I know has appeared on several of our agendas recently, but we are in the middle of an engagement process for our accessibility plan development. So this is just again a reminder for members of the public, for councillor staff, everyone who has an interest in making Richmond County more accessible, to please consider participating. The engagement process started on the 17th, and it will go at least until January 30th. And so our focus right now is to reach as many people as possible. We held the first of our 2 online engagement sessions today, and it went really well. And the survey has been launched both online and in paper copy form. So every resident in Richmond County is going to receive a little postcard mailer in their mailbox to let them know that this process is underway, and to give them information on how they can get connected and provide their feedback. You can find paper copies also of the survey at the municipal office, at the village office, Village of St. Peter's, at the St. Peter's and Petit de Gras libraries, Department of Community Services office in St. Peter's, as well as all of our local credit unions have jumped on board to help as well. So it's very exciting to see that kind of community engagement so far. We have advertised. Yeah.
Yeah, hi.
I'm just getting some background noise there. I'm not. Okay, not sure what that was. Okay, so it's also advertised on Tell and has been all over our social media. So I'm just encouraging everyone to get involved. And I also wanted to give an opportunity for counselors to ask any questions about that engagement process if you have concerns or anything like that. You can just let me know. Okay. Oh, and I should have also mentioned, sorry, there's also a telephone number that people can call in because we recognize that internet connectivity is not what it should be in some areas of the county, and it's not always easy to participate virtually. So, and of course, COVID is not really making it easier for us to gather in person. So our 2 engagement sessions will be virtual, but there is a call-in number as well. Okay. If there's no questions on that, then I'll just move us along to the next item on the agenda. And really these next 2 items are community recognition type announcements as well. The first is Bell Let's Talk Day, which is coming up on January 26th. This is an initiative that Bell started a little over 10 years ago to try to increase awareness and acceptance around mental health issues. And if you talk to any healthcare provider, they will tell you that there's a shadow pandemic happening in our communities right now related to mental health. So this campaign is probably more important than ever in its current year. The Bell Let's Talk Mental Health Initiative, essentially what happens is they will donate, I think, 5 cents for every applicable text call, tweet, or TikTok video using the hashtag Bell Let's Talk, or the French version Bell Calls. So it's a really easy way to help raise money for a really important cause. And I'd like to entertain a discussion with counselors about how we might participate as a county to maybe do some social media. Would anybody have thoughts on that they'd like to share? I'm thinking that perhaps we could just maybe ask staff to ensure that we do a Facebook post on that day to make sure that we're participating in the campaign, if people are okay with that. Okay, great. So maybe I'll just have a motion then to that effect so we can make sure that gets picked up in our action items.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, Madam Warden.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Sean Sampson. Maybe to instruct staff to participate in Bell Let's Talk Day through our social media page. Okay, could I have a seconder on that? Okay. So I'm not hearing a seconder, so I guess we'll leave that item unless anyone on council would like to make us to second that motion. All right.
I just don't see a need for a motion. That's the reason. It's not that I don't support the idea, and I'm confident that staff does as well. So I feel like that would happen. I just don't feel a need to make a motion. That's all.
Okay. Thanks, Deputy Warden. All right. So any further questions or discussion on that one? Okay. So if not, then we'll move us along. So the next item on the agenda is Family Literacy Day. So that Family Literacy Day is coming up. Sorry, I'm checking my notes here on January 27th. I want to make sure I got the date right. So this is a day celebrated annually to raise awareness about the importance of reading and engaging in other literacy related activities as a family. And this year's theme is learning in the great outdoors. A reminder that for us to take time to explore learning opportunities outside as well as inside. I just wanted to use this opportunity to give a shout out to 2 really great literacy advancing organizations in our community. It would be the Richmond County Literacy Network. This organization continues to open doors for people by, and make a tremendous difference in the lives of so many people. Their programs and services positively impact our learners, also families and employers in this community. I know one of my favorite things that they do is they run the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, promoting literacy at the earliest years, and it's just a fantastic program. I also want to give a shout out to the Eastern Counties Regional Library, who provides our public library service here for Inverness, Richmond, and Guysborough counties. We've got 2 locations in Richmond County. I encourage you to visit them at La Picasse in Petit Gras or in St. Peter's on Granville Street. And this is an organization that really just continues to redefine literacy and learning opportunities by offering, some fantastic digital services now as well. So I just wanted to offer those thank yous to those organizations on behalf of Council. And I'll just open for discussion on Family Literacy Day if anybody has any questions or comments on them. Okay, that's great. We're moving right along here. All right, so the next item on the agenda is over to you, Councillor Sean Sampson, regarding water damage on Veterans Memorial Drive in Ayrshire.
Yes, thanks, Madam Warden. So as we all know, we had a couple of storms the last couple of weeks, and where most of our provinces got snow, we ended up getting lots of rain. And people on the lower road in Ayrshire and people that drive the lower road, even though they're not from Ayrshire, would see and know what I'm speaking of when it comes to the damage that the water is causing coming down from the high road to the low road. So there's extreme flow of water coming down there, and it's washing out driveways, it's washing out culverts. The culverts that are in place on the low road can't take the extreme flow of water at the bottom. So there's driveways washing out, there's gravel ending up on the road, there's chunks of ice ending up on the road. So very dangerous situation, very discouraging situation for property owners when they see their driveways getting washed out every time it rains, and the rain is coming from the high road through their land and down to the low road. So I don't know if we can get Chris involved and Public Works involved to get some kind of engineering consultant to help out TIR when it comes to this. This work, to me, in my opinion, this work's got to be done in collaboration. So if the homeowner is just simply going to do some work around their house to avoid the driveway getting flooded and washing away, but the aging infrastructure up on the high road and the culverts that are causing this stuff is not fixed and not updated, or the culverts at the end of the low road where all this water is coming, if that's not updated, so we're just going to be spinning our wheels here, right? So in my opinion, the poor crew at TIR are simply just going to these trouble spots all the time and fixing these problems. But in my opinion, they're just putting band-aids on an open wound, and this work's got to be done in collaboration. And instead of putting a band-aid on a certain part of it, it's got to be all done at once and stitch up the wound, right? Instead of put a band-aid on it, right? So for me, I'd like to see some kind of motion put forward that we instruct staff or our Public Works Department to get some engineering opinions and work done and work with TIR to start at the root of the problem, which I believe is at the high road in Ayrshire coming down. So some of that aging infrastructure, in my opinion, has got to be replaced. The landowner, property owners got to do their part, and then it's got to be fixed at the bottom, right, to avoid this from happening going further.
Okay, thanks, Councillor. So this is provincial infrastructure, though, that we're talking about.
Well, I mean, it's culverts, aging infrastructure on our high road. So yeah, so it could be provincial. I'm not sure of the municipality. I mean, I'm not suggesting that we get involved in landscaping, property owners, and get in the landscaping business. But when we look at the wastewater management program that a lot of people have taken advantage of, I don't know if there's things we can do there to help out property owners when it comes to, fixing their part of the problem and doing all this work at once. But I know that if you're just going to fix one part of the problem and not the rest, then we're just going to be spinning our wheels here, right? And it's going to be occurring every time there's rainstorms or snowstorms or anything like that, right? So.
Councillors, do you have any questions or comments on this matter?
Well, my feeling is that, similar to I think what you kind of alluded to when you started was that this is a provincial issue. So I mean, although I would support us encouraging these fixes to happen, is it more appropriate for us to be crafting a letter to the the provincial Department of Public Works and ask them, encourage them to investigate it and come up with a plan? It's not our responsibility, so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm due to do a drive around with our MLA Trevor, so I will be bringing this up to him. I just wanted to bring it up to the residents, and you know, I've visited these trouble spots you know, last week, and I just wanted to mention it at a municipal level to know that we're going to try to take some action here and see what we can do on a municipal level as well. But yeah, I know it starts at provincial level, but again, I just wanted to bring it attention that if it's not done all in collaboration, then it's going to be all for naught, right? So just wanted to bring it up.
Yeah, those last rains did some serious damage, I think, on several areas throughout the county. I know there's some businesses in St. Peter's on the lower side of the canal. You have difficulty getting in and out of them right now.
And hats off to our TIR department. I mean, they got down there and fixed some of the shoulders of the road. They still got some work to do, but they fixed some of it. And but it's just an ongoing issue that to me has to get addressed for everybody involved. Right?
So at this stage, Councillor Sampson, are you looking for a letter to go to TIR about this particular issue, or?
Yes, please. Yeah. So if I can make a motion to send a letter to TIR and our provincial counterparts and maybe our MLA Trevor Boudreau to see what we can do here to get this ball rolling and fix some of this infrastructure and make sure that this is addressed as soon as possible.
Okay, so the motion is to write a letter to the provincial Department of Public Works regarding the situation on the high road. And if it's okay with you, Councillor Sampson, we could, you know, probably quote some other examples in that letter as well, right? So, you know, and I know we've written to TIR in the past about the state of the shoulder of the roads and that type of thing. I think we need to keep this pressure up as much as we can to encourage the investment.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a motion on the table. Could I have a seconder on that?
I would second that.
Okay, thank you, Deputy Warden. Any further discussion?
Yeah, just so we're clear, it's just to more or less inform the province, because I don't think really municipalities, public works should have much to do with this, or necessarily should, or have the time or you know the resources to deal with something of this consequence, and especially where it's, you know, it is a provincial issue.
Yeah,
I
I think
the
the
provincial
motion,
Department of Public Works, not our department. Like that now, it's confusing because they're
I know.
so the provincial Department of Public Works is what we're talking about.
Yeah, just to work,
Can you guys hear
I'm
me?
okay with that, sending a letter to the province anyway. I think you know, that's the appropriate channel to go through for this.
Yeah, I think that was the motion. So, okay. So, all right. So, any further discussion? Or did we get a seconder on that? I'm sorry. Yeah, we did. You did that, Deputy Warden. Thank
Can
you.
you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now, Councillor Bigman.
Okay, so yeah, I guess the only discussion I would have on this topic, just to allude to Councillor Sampson's, I guess, initial response or initial request would be just to, as unfortunate as it is, most washouts that are occurring are, I guess, in retrospect, coming off of people's property. And I think what everybody has to understand, and only because I know this, is that if it washes out from your property onto the side of the road and washes up the side of the road, the washout is actually, believe it or not, on you, not on the Department of Transportation. Although they will come to fix it and repair it, we have to understand that any water that's creating a major runoff is the landowner's responsibility to, I guess, control it prior to it hitting the shoulder of the road. So the only thing I would say is that, you know, like Councillor Sampson, I went and did many visits, and I tried to explain to the residents, you know, you may have to try this, you may have to try that, you know, try to direct your water off your property prior to running straight down your driveway onto the shoulder of the road where it creates the faults and the washouts. So that would be the only thing I would add. Would maybe with Public Works and Transportation and ourselves, we can, it might just be a little bit of more of an educational tool to start directing people or start showing them how to direct the water off the property before it hits the road.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Digdon. So any further discussion? Okay, Councillor Sean Sampson, if you like, maybe you and I could collaborate on that letter, and then we'll send it off to Public Works and we'll copy all councillors so that they can see it.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, so could I have a call for the vote, please? All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Thank you. Okay, so the next item on our agenda is a review of action items from December 20th, 2021. Those were provided in advance. Were there any questions from councillors on those action items? All right. So not hearing any, I'll move us on to the next item, which was items added to the agenda, and we did add a public health information. And thank you, councillors, for allowing me to add this to the agenda at the last minute. I did have a constituent reach out to me today. She's a healthcare worker in our county who reported that she had received an unwelcome newspaper, she called it, in her unsecured mailbox, so private mailbox, which is considered her private property and not a Canada Post owned mailbox. The publication, I guess, really bothered her because I don't think many other people received it. Although I have since learned that at least one other did. It used very strong language to spread misinformation and advised people to ignore public health advice related to the pandemic. And as a healthcare worker, she found this very concerning. She found it also very concerning that it landed in her mailbox on a Saturday and while she was not at home. And so it did not, and I checked with both with our Canada Post locations here, and the mailing did not come through their normal processes. So it was obviously dropped into her mailbox. So knowing that she's not the only one who had this happen, she wanted to reach out to let me know about it because she was troubled as a healthcare worker about the misinformation in the newsletter or newspaper. There's not really any way for the municipality to take any action or to intervene in any way on this. However, I did want to bring it here because of what was described to me as the intimidating nature of the publication. Just for people to be aware of it, if they see things like that in their mailbox, we shouldn't be scared or change what we're doing to keep each other safe and to keep ourselves safe. And there continues to be reliable information on the Government of Nova Scotia website at novascotia.ca/coronavirus. There's a great little section on that page called Protect Yourself and Others. And so I just wanted to mention that as a public service announcement because of the level of concern that I heard from this particular healthcare worker in our county. And I thank her for reporting that to us. So. Any questions or comments on that? I don't know that it needs much discussion, but happy to hear it. If you have
So I assume, Madam Warden, that the person that wrote this letter didn't identify themselves?
No, she doesn't know where it came from. It was like a newspaper type format. Yeah. Okay. So if there was no further items added to the agenda, so we'll move on to question period, which is restricted to the remainder of the agenda following our Committee of the Whole report. I'll just leave it open for a few minutes. And again, the phone number to call is 1-204-272-7920. And our question period would be a maximum of 10 minutes, but we'll just leave it open for a moment to see if there are any folks calling in. So we have a question from in the chat from Jacob Boudreau. The name of the consultant that was awarded the RFP for the strategic plan was FBM. And I'll get you their proper name here in a minute. It's FBM Architecture Interior Design Planning. And thank you for the question, Jacob. Okay. All right. So if there's no further questions, we'll end it there. And I will ask councilors for an adjournment because we don't have any items for in camera this evening. So could I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make
I'll
that
make that
motion to
motion.
adjourn.
Councilor Brent Sampson. All right. And Deputy Warden, did you want to second that?
I sure do.
Okay, thank you. So all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Those opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a really great evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Night, everybody.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.